grade, welcome to Saxon Math. Today we are going to learn about tables and schedules. I know, it's so exciting. I can't wait to do it either. So we are going to work on that today. Isn't this great? I do know if you are a little confused, we did skip an investigation. We will be going back to that next week. So we are going to start on tables and schedules today. So what I need for you to do is to get your math book, a piece of paper, and a pencil. On your paper, I need for you to write down your name in cursive, lesson number, and the date. All right. And if you could you please open up your math book to page 643, 643. We are going to start right at the lesson practice because all these questions refer to all of the examples that are previous to this in the pages that go before this. So we're actually going to kind of work backwards. But follow along, work with me, and I think that together we will be able to understand how to do this assignment. So let's look at letter A on page 643. Before that, it says refer to the table and the schedule in examples 1 and 2 to answer problems A through C. So if we take a look, example 1 is on page 641. That's the one that talks about the heights of major mountains. And then example 2, if you turn the pages on 642, and that has to do with Li Ming's schedule. Okay? So when we're talking about these two charts, one of them is a schedule, another one is a chart about the heights of major mountains. Those are the things we're referring to. So let's take a look at letter A. It says Kilimanjaro is how many meters taller than Fuji? Well, I'm thinking this has to do with example 1 because both of these are the names of mountains. So let's go back to example 1. And it says how many meters taller? Kilimanjaro is how many meters taller than Fuji? So what I'm hearing or seeing here is that they are comparing. They want to tell the difference. And when we want to tell the difference, we know that is subtraction. So in my head, I know, okay, I'm going to be doing a subtraction problem. But now I have to figure out what numbers to use. So it says Kilimanjaro is how many meters taller than Fuji? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find Kilimanjaro on my chart, and you should be looking at the chart in 641. Point to Kilimanjaro, and then you are going to point to Fuji. Fuji's at the very bottom. I think Kilimanjaro is probably about the third one there, and Fuji's at the bottom. Now if you look, next in the name of the mountains are the heights in feet, but they don't ask for that in letter A. They ask for how many meters taller. So I go to Kilimanjaro. I'm not going to go read the feet. I'm going to read the meters. And as I put my finger across, I see that Kilimanjaro is 5,895. So I'm going to write down, and you should write this down too, for letter A, 5,000, and I'm going to look back to make sure I got it correct, 895 meters. And then the other mountain they wanted to compare is Fuji. So I go down to Fuji, I go across, and that's 3,776 meters. So I want to go back, read it one more time, is how many meters taller than Fuji? Okay, so I'm comparing, this is meters and it's subtraction. So let's go through that. Well, you can't do that. So 15 minus 6 is 9, 8 minus 7 is 1, 8 minus 7 is 1, and 5 minus 3 is 2. And it's asking for meters, so it would be 2,119 meters. I hope that you understood that one. So we look at letter B. Everest, again, another mountain name, so it looks like we're still using that chart in example 1, is how many feet taller than the Matterhorn? Okay, so I'm going to go back to that chart on 641. I'm going to point to Everest. Everest looks like the first mountain And then Matterhorn looks like the 1, 2, 3, the fourth one. Okay, so again, we're comparing. So I'm assuming this is going to be subtraction again, but now we're comparing feet. So let's look over here. Everest is how many feet taller than the Matterhorn? So obviously we want to have our bigger number first. So if I look at Everest and I look at feet, it says 29,035. And the Matterhorn says, oops, not the meters, the feet, 14,691. And I'm just going to check again. Very important, fourth grade. When you're using charts, you need to check and recheck. Don't just think, oh, look once, I'm good. Don't do that. Look multiple times to make sure you're getting the right names along with the right measurements and the right type of measurement. So I'm going to go with this. 5 minus 1 is 4. 3 minus, I can't do that. So I had to go down. So 13 minus 9 is 4. 3. So I got 14,344 feet. All right, so now we go on to letter C. How much sleep does Li Ming get on a school night if she follows her schedule? Well, we're not dealing with mountains anymore, so we know we're done with example 1. So let's go on to example 2, and that's on 642, and that talks about Li Ming's schedule. How much sleep does Li Ming get on a school night if she follows her schedule? So I think what I need to do is see when does she wake up and when does she go to bed, and that might help. So let's look over here. How much sleep does Li Ming get on a school night if she follows her schedule? A school night means 1, okay? So, and this is her school day schedule. So she gets up at 6:30 a.m. and just on a school night if she follows her schedule. She goes to bed at 9 p.m. Okay, so I'm just writing this down to keep this straight in my head. So she gets up at 6:30, she goes to bed at 9. So if they're asking how much sleep she gets, I should probably start at the time where she goes to bed. And then I'm gonna count the hours, okay? So as far as, am I adding, am I subtracting? I'm not, I'm just counting hours. And I can even use my hands for that, okay? So I'm starting at 9. I need to see how many hours between 9 and 6. So here we go. So I'm going 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I look, that's 9. Well, 9 hours to 6 a.m. So that's 9 hours. But then she doesn't get up at 6 a.m. She gets up at 6:30 a.m. So I would say 9 hours and then 30 minutes. Wow. That's amazing. I cannot remember the last time I slept 9 hours, ever. I'm sure I did at one point, but not recently. But anyway, I digress. Okay, so she slept 9 hours, or you can even say 9.5 hours, because you know 30 minutes is a half an hour. So then let's turn the page, and we go to D. Using the thermometer shown, how much did the temperature change between 4 p.m. and 12 a.m.? So now we're not dealing with examples anymore. Now we're just looking at the 2 thermometers that you have in front of you on page 644 on letter D. So we're focusing on those 2 thermometers. So we're looking at the 2 thermometers shown. How much did the temperature change between 4 p.m. and 12 a.m.? So it's interesting, if you look at both thermometers, it's like, well, I guess the one on the left is the 4 p.m. So, because they're not really labeled. So I think that's what they want us to assume. So since we read from left to right, let's start with the first thermometer. Now, if you look at the tick marks, there's tick marks in between 90 and 100. Now, if I would try to have them count by 5, that wouldn't work. But remember, it's usually 5 or 2. So then I look, 92, 4, 6, 8, yes, that would work. And if I look at the first thermometer, it looks like the line meets right at 92 degrees Fahrenheit. And then I look at the second thermometer on the right, and it looks like it still goes by 2s, and this is 74 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, so 92 degrees at 4 o'clock. Must have been summer. That is something. All right, so we're gonna take a look at that. So we wanna see how much it changed. In other words, what did we have to add to 74 to get to 92? A way we can figure that out is subtraction. So I'm going to change that to an 8, this to a 12. 12 minus 4 is 8. 8 minus 7 is 1. And our answer would be 18 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's it, 4th grade. We did our lesson on tables and schedules. And your assignment is to complete pages 644 through 647, numbers 1 through 30. Thank you. Bye.